What's public transport in Mexico like? Do we really have chickens traveling with us like Hollywood makes it out to be? What kind of trains or buses or modes of transportations do we have in Mexico City, Cancun, or other regions? In this video, you will learn all of that and all the Spanish that you will need to catch any type of transportation in Mexico and never get lost. I'm Paulísima, Spring Spanish teacher and your local transportation guide for this episode. Empecemos. Número 1. Caminar. In Mexico City, the nicest, most sought-after neighborhoods are highly walkable. Caminar es una de mis actividades favoritas. Es la forma en la que me transporto más frecuentemente. Seriously, I'm always walking, always. Atención, nuestras aceras y carreteras no son las mejores conservadas del mundo. Así que, atención, caminen con cuidado.
¿Ya vieron? Aguas.
¿Escucharon? Aguas. Literally, waters, but it just means attention or caution. ¿Por qué decimos aguas? It's actually interesting. Well, way back then, where there was not a sewage system, people just, like, do what they had to do in these pots. And they would just throw it out the window. And because, it was like liquid, they will scream first, aguas, and then throw it. Número 2, metro. Ya hice todo un video sobre el metro. Chéquenlo. When you buy your tickets, you can just say the number of tickets that you want. Un boleto, por favor. 2 boletos, por favor. Or 1. Or 2. Aquí puedes recargar tu tarjeta de movilidad integrada, que es esta. Algo importante del metro de la Ciudad de México. Expect people selling all kinds of merchandise. Chewing gum, candy, chocolate bars, flowers, plants, clothing, like secondhand clothing or like new clothing, underwear, everything. When it's really crowded, you might hear an officer screaming, ¡recórrase! ¡Recórranse! Or, ¡aváncenle! 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 They mean you should like scoot over. Make room. Otras 2 cosas muy importantes. Do respect the designated areas for women and children, and don't be surprised if you see locals eating inside the metro. It's actually not allowed, so please don't do it, but you will see that people do it. Número 3, Metrobús. Is a bus rapid transit system that has been operating in Mexico since 2015. No te puedes perder subirte a los autobuses de doble piso de la línea 7 que recorren el maravilloso e icónico Paseo de Reforma. A ticket is 7 pesos. Vas a necesitar la tarjeta de movilidad integrada. Don't be surprised if somebody asks you to let them in using your card. Yeah, because sometimes people won't have it and they'll offer you cash. And you can ask other people to let you pass too if for some reason you don't have your card but you do have money. Disculpe, ¿me deja pasar? Le pago. Always smiling, always smiling. There are clear indications in the Metrobus station, so I don't think you're going to get lost. But, just in case you want to make sure you're going in the right direction, you can ask this. Disculpe, ¿aquí estoy bien para...? And then you insert the place or the direction that you're going. Disculpe, ¿aquí estoy bien para Indios Verdes? Disculpe, ¿aquí estoy bien para Tepalcates? And also you might hear officers screaming, ¡detrás de la línea amarilla! ¡Detrás de la línea amarilla! Behind the yellow line. Aquí en Spring Spanish tenemos más videos sobre medios de transporte. Chequen uno de ellos por acá. Número 4. Autobús. En México casi toda la gente le dice camión al autobús. There are some smaller buses that people call microbús or simply micro. La verdad es que yo no uso el camión ni el micro. Because for me, it's like if I'm gonna be 30, 40 minutes in a bus, I much rather walk. Vas a necesitar cambio. Y normalmente el mismo conductor cobra o hay otra persona al lado del conductor que cobra. Dato curioso. En México es muy común que la gente use el tiempo que pasa en el camión o en el metro o en otro tipo de transporte público para maquillarse. Don't act surprised when you see this. What do you say to exit el camión? Check out this lovely Mexican Spanish chunk. Bajan! Simple. Bajan, which means something like they come down. But don't worry about direct translations. You don't need them. Actually, it will only slow you down. At Spring Spanish, we never use direct translations. They're terrible. Instead, we use a super efficient method for language acquisition called conversation-based chunking. To get you started, you can right now download your free copy of our Spanish chunking kit. The link is in the description. Número 5. Combi. Si eres turista, lo más seguro es que no vayas a ir a partes de la ciudad que no están bien conectadas. En las zonas más alejadas del centro de la ciudad, una forma muy común de transporte es la combi. Si tienen la posibilidad de evitar las combis, evítenlas. Yeah, avoid them. And I think that most combi users will give you the same advice. I'm sure that the combi users would go for another option if they had the option not to take the combi. Aunque no pasa todos los días, cada 5 minutos, sí pasa, desafortunadamente, que asaltan dentro de la combi. Número 6. Cablebús. This is completely new and it's part of the efforts of the government of Mexico City to bring efficient and dignified modes of transportation to people who have been historically left out. And it's so cool. Y está padrísimo. Let's look at different means of transportation in Mexico in depth. And we will start with the choo-choo, the train. Maria Fernanda will take over the next part of this lesson, so make sure to click on the image to continue there.